So for these equations, we're asked to examine the graphs below and decide if each graph represents a function, and then we're supposed to describe the domain and the range of each one. This is fun. We haven't done this for a while. For this first one, it's not a function, right? It clearly doesn't follow our expectations that a function be consistent and predictable. So for example, I could pick this point. That particular value of x has two different values of y. So it is not a function. However, it does have a domain and range. Remember, the domain is the values of x for which there are outputs, and you can see the domain starts right here at -3, and it continues all the way until +3. So any spot along there, I can tell you what y value it is. So x's from -3 to 3 have y values. It's just that some of them have more than one y value. And the range of this function is actually, if you look at it, the smallest number I can get, and it occurs when x is 0. Right? When I plug in x is 0, one of the values I could get perhaps is -3, and I could also get +3. So it's from -3 to +3 is my range. Let's look at b. This is a function. It doesn't matter where I stop, anywhere along this function, right? There's only one particular output value for that point. If I'm here, that's actually the output too. This value has, this output. So clearly a domain, function rather, it's consistent and it's predictable. The smallest, if I look in for the domain, right, you can see that this function starts to produce values when x hits the number -2 right here. And so for example, when x is -2, it looks like it's maybe producing something close to -2 for y. And it continues to produce outputs, right? All of these x values are valid until we hit this point right here. And notice these are solid dots, so I do know that it includes this point, right? That's why in my notation here for my solution, I'm saying is x is all those values from, x is all the values from -2, but including it as well, right? X's are those things that are greater than or equal to -2, but less than or equal to 3. So it's including those endpoints, because if you look again on the graph, they weren't hollow dots. Now, if instead of having this solid dot, perhaps this was the symbol instead, it was an open dot, that means that I wouldn't be including the endpoints, in which case I would be writing, for example, this symbol and this symbol without the equals underneath it. The range values, the lowest this goes is from -2, and the highest it appears to get is right up here at +2. So the range is those values from -2 to +2. Remember, domain are those values along the x-axis that are producing outputs, right? They're valid values along x, and then the range are the possible output values that we could get from the function. Those are the y values. By the way, if they are the y's, this should probably be y's are greater than or equal to -2 and less than or equal to 2.